submit your ideas. We all have. Every day, I come up with dozens of ideas about what we can do to further life extension around the world, how we can generate more funds, more visibility, how we can save more people. I probably have a dozen ideas every day. Well, if you have a dozen ideas every day, take the best one or two and put them in the project idea form. Now, maybe you'll have an idea and we'll look at it and the members will talk about it and like, well, maybe this isn't the best thing. Hey, don't give up. Keep on posting ideas because you never know when you'll have a gem of an idea and everyone's going to get behind it and it's going to be a great thing for the Institute and for the meme as a whole. Also, I want to alert you to a couple other items that we have been discussing in the forums recently. In case you didn't see it, Ray Kurzweil is, of course, a big topic at the Institute because he's predicted, that we're going to all be immortal someday soon, a couple of decades, and that we're going to have a singularity and all this. And many people disagree with Ray. Some people say, well, his ideas are pretty good. His predictions have been pretty good. Well, Michael Anisimov at the Accelerating Future blog, where the graphic you see here, he said he looked at 7 different predictions that Ray Kurzweil had made. And this was way back in 1997, right? And he said by the end of this decade, by the end of 2009, certain things were going to happen. And Michael looked at 7 different things and said, oh, they're all bad. There's nothing going on here. And Kurzweil missed the mark on everything. Or, well, maybe he didn't say it in those exact words. But Kurzweil has responded to Michael Anisimov, who, by the way, was the founding director of the Immortality Institute. And Kurzweil says he's going to come up with a reply that includes every single prediction he made back in the late 90s. 108 different predictions. And he's going to show that he's been correct, or at least very close, on 102 out of 108 predictions. And let me tell you, that's a pretty good success rate. I am waiting to see this response from Kurzweil, and you better believe we'll have an update in the Immortality Institute forums when that reply is posted. And also, another neat blog here, Less Wrong by Eliezer Yudkowsky. He made a recent entry about cryonics and what he calls normal cryonics. He was at a cryonics meeting in Florida recently, and the thing he noticed was that the people there seemed very normal. And that's maybe, a lot of people would say, well, that's kind of isn't that speaking badly of cryonics people, that they aren't normal, right? But in the past, most of the people who founded the cryonics movement were visionaries, and many visionaries don't seem normal. They, by definition, right? They're a visionary. They're seeing the future. They're trying to create the future, right? He said at this conference he met a lot of young people who just seemed normal, and it seemed like the sane thing to do was to sign up for cryonics and to have parents signing their kids up for cryonics, and that's what he met. He met some families there that, the parents just spoke matter-of-factly, well, of course I sign my kids up for cryonics. What parent wouldn't? And Eliezer, you have to read that at Less Wrong. It's called Normal Cryonics. He does a great job speaking passionately, emotionally about cryonics and the state of, the future of cryonics. And perhaps one of his more impactful blog entries he's ever written. I don't know. Perhaps. Eliezer has been promoting rationality for many years now, and that's the focus of Less Wrong. So perhaps you haven't read anything that, say, intense from Eliezer recently, but it's a good little read, and we're discussing it also at the Immortality Institute forums. And at this point, I'm going to check the chat here to see if anyone has any other questions for me, and I tried to follow along here during the interview for tonight. Sorry that we haven't had a program in a while, but we do have a good guest coming up next week, and I don't think I have I think I forgot to bring the graphic in here. Let me see if I got the graphic for next week's guest in here, and no, I don't. What is my problem? Well, I'll just let you know. We'll come back to the webcam here. And it is Jason Silva of Current TV. You remember he made that short film called The Immortalists, where he interviewed Ray Kurzweil and a bunch of other people. about their ideas or their efforts toward life extension. And he is perhaps one of the few up-and-coming producers of media content that seems to have a good idea of how life extension research efforts are progressing and how the general attitudes are changing out there in society. So it will be very interesting to find out what he sees out there in the world of media and who he's been talking to recently and what he sees for the future of life extension and what his current efforts are. Perhaps he has another short film in the works. His last one was very good, I thought. Didn't you think? I thought. The Immortalist. You can watch it on YouTube. It's on there. It's like a little 7-minute film. It's pretty good. I liked it. But anyway, he is going to be next week's guest, and it will be occurring at the normal time next week, which would be starting right about now, is the normal time that the show starts. So tune in for that, and I'm glad to see so many people that were here. Peter is still on. Was he in the chat the whole time here? I didn't see for sure if Peter was in there as a guest, listed as a guest or not. But I don't know if he was in the chat or not. I didn't see. Someone just threw that out there. But yeah, okay. Everyone thinks this is a good time as well. Yeah, you know what? Coming up in 2010, I might end up switching the day of the show as well as the time. I'm not completely sure yet. The idea behind having the Sunday evening update on Sundays, as if that wasn't obvious, is that it was a night when usually people are done with their weekend activities, and it comes in the evening, people are relaxed, and they're like, hey, let's watch a nice little show about life extension, right? Okay, so that was the idea behind that. That is the best time when most people could probably view. Now, I am going to be resigning as executive director of the Institute coming at the end of March. However, I might continue doing this show. I'm unsure what my involvement is going to be. I'll probably still be doing some accounting for the Institute and keeping the back end of things operational, regulations and taxes and financing and things like that. But I might also continue doing the show. But if I do, it is probably not going to be on the weekend. It will probably be during the week, say Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or something like that at say 5 o'clock in the 5 o'clock Central Time, or perhaps 2200 GMT, something like that. I might switch the day because the idea of stepping back a little bit from all my duties and having a little more time is opening up the weekends as well for myself and my family and such things. So in the future, later this year, I expect that the show might be on a different day. I suppose we'd have to change the title then, wouldn't we? Okay, well, yeah, cerebral cortex is in GMT. I'm just checking the chat here for those of you watching the stream here. Okay. Anyway, just wanted to let you know about that for future shows. But next week, Sunday night, it'll be 2300 GMT, so a 1 hour later than this week's program. And Jason Silva of Current TV. And always feel free to send me some suggestions for guests in the future. If any of you know researchers out there in the field, somebody that has been making news lately, that always works best. If you know them, you've talked with them before, and you say, hey, there's this little show called the Sunday Evening Update, and we'd sure love to have you as a guest. I can contact them, and then we can get a hold of them. Our VIP outreach team was the one who got a hold of Felicia Nemu Ackerman that we had at the end of November. Boy, she was a lightning rod, wasn't she? She was all for life extension. That was great. She was a real fun interview. And, of course, you can watch all the old interviews here on our Ustream page. They're all archived here as flash videos. Okay, that's going to be it for the show for tonight. Let me get up our little show closing here. And I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And I want to encourage you to come back here again next week for Jason Silva.